The script begins with a dark, eerie atmosphere inside a jail. The camera pans across dimly lit corridors, rusty bars, and the sound of distant screams or clanging metal. The setting feels oppressive and dehumanizing. The protagonist, a young girl, age and background can vary depending on the story's context, is shown sitting alone in a cold, damp cell. Her face reflects fear, confusion, and exhaustion. Flashbacks or dialogue can hint at why she was imprisoned, perhaps wrongfully accused or caught in a corrupt system. The police officers. A group of police officers is shown patrolling the jail. Their demeanor is harsh, and they speak in commanding, dismissive tones. One officer in particular stands out as the main antagonist, a figure who enjoys exerting power and instilling fear. Establish the power dynamic. A scene shows the officers mocking or intimidating the inmates, establishing their dominance. The girl, being new or vulnerable, becomes a target for their cruelty. This sets the stage for the upcoming brutality. A subtle hint of what's to come, perhaps the officers discussing teaching her a lesson, or showing a glimpse of the electric shock device in a storage room. This introduction sets the tone for the story, making the audience empathize with the girl and anticipate the conflict. Let me know if you'd like to expand on the other outlines or add more details. The girl is pulled out of her cell by the officers, either for interrogation or as part of a routine disciplinary action. The officers are aggressive from the start, shouting at her and accusing her of breaking jail rules or being uncooperative. Escalation of violence. The scene intensifies as the officers physically drag her to a secluded room. The girl resists, pleading for mercy, but her cries are ignored. The room is cold and sterile, with a table, restraints, and the electric shock device prominently visible. The electric shock punishment. The officers forcibly restrain the girl, tying her to the table. The main antagonist officer taunts her, saying things like, "This will teach you to respect us." The device is activated, and the girl screams in agony as the shocks are administered. The camera focuses on her face, capturing her pain, fear, and helplessness. Reactions of others. Other inmates or jail staff hear the screams but choose to ignore them, either out of fear or indifference. This highlights the systemic cruelty and lack of accountability within the jail after the torture. The scene ends with the girl being dragged back to her cell, barely conscious. The officers laugh or make casual remarks, showing their complete lack of remorse. The girl collapses in her cell, trembling and traumatized. The girl is shown lying in her cell, visibly injured and in pain. Her hands tremble and she struggles to move. Flashbacks of the electric shock torment her, and she begins to dissociate from reality, showing signs of severe psychological trauma. Indifference of the jail system. A jail nurse or medic is called to check on her, but the examination is rushed and dismissive. The nurse might say something like, "You'll live," before leaving without providing proper care. This highlights the systemic neglect and dehumanization within the jail. A sympathetic fellow inmate, perhaps an older woman or someone who has been in the jail for a long time, notices the girl's condition. This character becomes a source of comfort and support, offering words of encouragement or sharing their own experiences of abuse. The girl's internal struggle. The girl grapples with feelings of hopelessness and despair. She questions whether she can survive the ordeal or if anyone will ever believe her story. This internal monologue can be shown through voiceovers or symbolic visuals, e.g., her staring at a small crack of light coming through the cell window. The officer's justification. In a separate scene, the officers are shown discussing the incident in a casual manner, justifying their actions as necessary to maintain order. This further emphasizes their lack of empathy and the toxic culture within the jail. A glimmer of resistance. The girl begins to show small signs of resilience. Perhaps she writes about her experience on a piece of paper, or the sympathetic inmate encourages her to fight back. This sets the stage for the next phase of the story, where she decides to take action. The girl, with the support of the sympathetic inmate, decides she can no longer remain silent. She begins to document her experience, writing down everything that happened, including the names of the officers involved. This act of defiance is both empowering and dangerous. Challenges and obstacles. the girl faces numerous hurdles in her quest for justice. Fear of retaliation. The officers catch wind of her plans and intimidate her, threatening worse punishment if she speaks out. Lack of evidence. She struggles to gather concrete proof of the torture, as the jail system is designed to protect itself. Distrust among inmates. Some inmates are too afraid to support her, while others are skeptical that anything will change. Building alliances. The sympathetic inmate helps the girl connect with others who have experienced similar abuse. Together, they form a small, secret group dedicated to exposing the truth. This alliance gives the girl a sense of solidarity and strength. A turning point. A pivotal moment occurs when the girl discovers a way to communicate with the outside world, perhaps through a sympathetic guard, a hidden phone, or a visitor. This breakthrough reignites her hope and determination. Escalating tension. The officers become increasingly suspicious of the girl's activities. They subject her to more frequent searches, verbal abuse, and isolation. The tension builds as the audience wonders whether she will be caught before she can expose the truth. The plan takes shape. The girl and her allies finalize their plan to leak the information to the media, a human rights organization, or a lawyer. The stakes are high, as failure could result in severe consequences for everyone involved. This section is crucial for building suspense and developing the girl's character as she transforms from a victim into a fighter. It also highlights the systemic challenges faced by those who dare to challenge authority.